Mhm. Spotlight. Okay. There is spotlight. So not here. Click on more. Show up now. Right. Everyone, please say 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good evening to everyone. Today too, before we start, let me do the same wish. May this session also bring you at least some inner peace and inner happiness. So with that wish, I'm going to start today's session. So time is passing and we are about to end the second month of this year. So this is how it is. So the time will fly and then you don't know until the year of 2025 is over too, right? So therefore, please work very diligently. Understanding the value of time. So we say, so according to our own ease, there are constitutional things that we have enacted, like today is Monday, so today is Tuesday, today is Wednesday, like that. And then we also have the month of January, month of February, like that. And then we also have this measurement of yearly measurement, like 2024, 25, 26. But we have to understand that they are merely the constitutional things that we have enacted. But the truth is, time is flying. There is no way that we can measure it. So human life is very short. Therefore, we have to work ardently. So during this life, to develop as far as we can in this Dhamma path, right? To develop as far as we can in the Dhamma path, right? So with that determination, please keep on practicing. Human life is very, very precious. And having the Dhamma path, right? Having this noble non-sectarian meditation practice. So having the chance to meet it, it is also a rare thing in a life. So you have got that one too. So you are double lucky. Therefore, please work diligently, understanding the technique properly. First, it will benefit you, and then definitely it will benefit the others too. Right? So please work very ardently. We have begun, so we started the breathing meditation with the first step. And then after that, the old students, they also began the second step of breathing meditation too. But the newcomers, they are kindly requested to practice the first step, right? So if you joined recently or if you joined today, So please practice the first step of breathing meditation. So what is the first step of breathing meditation? So please observe the normal natural breath which is coming in and going out. But don't go with the breath all the way in. Just observe the breath up to the end of your nostrils. Up to the end of your nostrils. Right? So whenever the breath passes that point, the end of your nostril, so let it go inside. Wait very patiently until it comes out. Then it will, after a while, the breath will start going out. At that time, it will, on the way, it will touch the area where the end of your nostril is. Starting from that point, start observing the outgoing breath again. Right? So when it is coming in, be aware that it is coming in. When it is going out, please be aware that it is going out. If it is gross, please be aware that right now, the breath that I'm experiencing, it is gross. If the breath that you're experiencing right now, if it is soft, be aware that the breath that I'm experiencing right now, it is soft. If it is long, please be aware that it is long. If it is short, please be aware that the breath that I'm experiencing currently, right at this moment, is short. Accordingly, please keep on being aware. Just be the gatekeeper. So don't be the controller of your breath. Let it come naturally. Let it go naturally. What you have to do is just to observe and concentrate. Be a garden keeper. You know, the garden keeper. Please come. So the garden keeper. So the garden keeper don't think. When the garden keeper takes care of the garden, I mean the trees, the plants. So the garden keeper doesn't try to own the plant, doesn't try to become the owner of the plant. The garden keeper does what he or she can do for the plant. Then the plant grows. So it will then later on those trees will give flowers, and then those trees will bear fruits. But it's up seeing them. The garden keeper becomes happy and contented. But the garden keeper doesn't try to own the garden, own the trees. He does what he has to do. She does what she has to do for the trees. Right? So you also should become a garden keeper. Right? So garden keeper, right? Yeah. So so your breath is also a plant. So meditator is the garden keeper. So when your job is to observe the breath as it is at the present moment, concentration will develop. Concentration will develop. Let it happen. So inner peace will start developing. Let it happen. And then inner happiness also will begin to develop. Let it happen. Keep on doing your thing, right? So this inner peace, inner happiness, inner calmness, inner concentration, all those things are flowers and fruits of your effort, right? Just let them grow. Your job is to take care of the garden. So keep on observing the breath as it is. The rest will happen. And so please do like that. The old students, they were instructed to narrow down their attention to the triangular area, below the nostrils, and above the upper lip. Within that area, when the breath comes in and touches, so please be fully aware, right? Right now, the breath is coming in, and this is the incoming breath. It is touching my triangular area, right? Sometimes it will touch your nose. Sometimes you will feel this, it's touching sensation on your lips. Let it be so. Just keep on observing. When it is going out to, it will touch this triangular area. At that time, very patiently, please be aware and keep on observing the touch of the breath within this triangular area, right? So that's what you have to do. If you cannot concentrate on that, on this narrowed area, so don't feel disappointed. So you are not here to compete with anybody else. So you are here to compete with yourself. You are trying to develop yourself, your own mind, right? So therefore, without feeling frustrated, so once again, those old, this for all the old students. So those old students are kindly requested to uh, go to the first step and start observing the whole process of incoming breath and outgoing breath for a while. Whenever you could concentrate, then once again, please start practicing the second step of breathing meditation. So that's how you have to practice, right? Then work ardently, first for yourself, and then definitely you will share all the positivities that you develop with the others. So then please practice for the others too. So every day before, so during the instruction session, I teach you something which is very important for all the meditators to develop in life, external life. So 4 weeks ago, I'm actually 5 weeks ago, I taught you uh, so uh, the duties of a husband towards the wife. 5 duties of a husband towards the wife. And then 5 duties, on the next week I taught the 5 duties of a wife towards the husband. And then after that I taught you the duties of parents, 5 duties of parents towards the children. And then last week I taught you the duties of children towards the parents. So today I'm going to teach you briefly the duties of a friend towards a friend, right? So when you have very good social background, that will help you to maintain your your peace of mind. When you have the peace of mind, right? When you have the peace of mind, you can convert that peace of mind to develop in the meditation practice, right? So that will definitely affect you. If your family background and the social background is not healthy, if it is not healthy, that affects your mind, and that affects your meditation too. That's why, so these things are important for the meditators to practice, right? So what are the 5 duties of a friend so towards another friend, right? So if you brought your books, please write them down. I am going to teach you in brief, right? So number 1 is, so you have to be dutiful towards your friend by being generous. So that's number 1. So you have to be generous towards your friend. So if a friend is not generous towards the other friend, then that friend is not going to harbor so thoughts of generosity towards you, right? So what gives, that's the thing which will comes back. right? So therefore, the first quality, first duty of a friend towards another friend is being generous. That's number one. So you have to be generous materially, and at the same time, you have to be generous mentally too, spiritually, right? So you have to share so unlimited loving kindness as much as you can. So unlimited loving kindness with your friend, and then compassion. So with your friend. So that's how you become generous towards your friend spiritually, and then materially, whatever the friend needs, if you are capable, so be generous to share it with your friends, right? Then that creates a strong bond among friends, right? Then number two is speaking nice words towards the friend. That's number two. So being generous, and then number two is speaking nice words. That's also important. Number three is, so if you don't speak nice words, then for sure you cannot maintain a very good relationship. But whenever you speak nice words towards your friend, it it strengthens your friendship, right? That helps you to have a very good social background, right? And number three is, so helping the friend to develop mentally and materially. That is also important. So if you help your friend uh, to develop in life mentally and materially, so when you do whatever things at your capacity for the well-being of your friend, so, with the intention to develop him or her in that person's life, then that also strengthens the bond between friends, right? So that's number three. The number four is, so treating equally like oneself. So just how you treat yourself, so you have to treat your friend the same. You should not ridicule whatever it happens. So you should not ridicule your friend. At the same time, whatever things that your friend does, you have to admire those things. And then you have to treat your friend equally. Equality is very important. So that's number four, treating equally. Then number five is, so by not deceiving. So you should not show one face in front of your friend, and at the same time another friend when your friend is not around. You should not deceive whatever it happens. So you should not deceive your friend. Right? That's very important. By not deceiving too, you become dutiful towards your friend. When someone practices these five things, so towards one's friend, then such kind of person gains very good, reliable, honest friends, right? So in Mittan Sutta, Buddha describes the benefits that someone can get uh, by practicing these qualities towards another friend. Mitta means friend. Anisansa means the benefits, right? So, but this is not the time to describe that sutta. So I'm going to avoid that. Somehow you're going to gain great benefits. So when you treat your friend like that, that friend is going to treat you in five ways, right? Number one is, so when you are when you are vulnerable, right? When you are vulnerable, that friend will, the good friends, so they will protect you. That's number one. Then not only that person will protect you, that person will protect your wealth too, right? So that's number two, second benefit. So third one is, so that person will become a refuge when you are afraid, when you are stressful, right? When you are stressful in life, that person will become a reliable source and will help you to come out of those situations, right? The number four is, so that such kind of friends won't abandon you when you are in misfortune. So they will stay with you whether you are at fortune or at misfortune, right? And then they will help you, right? So not only towards yourself, they will, so not only they will show consideration towards yourself, so they will show consideration towards your family members too. So these are the five ways the other friends will react. So when you become a good friend, dutiful friend towards the other friend, right? So by that way, try to create a very good circle of nice friends. So all students know I already taught you about the four kinds of good friends and four kinds of bad friends. So avoid those four. Somehow the new students are going to learn about them at the end of, on the month of December, somehow I'm going to teach about those 8 kinds of friends again. But somehow, so you had to avoid bad friends. So using those measurements, and then you have to recognize good friends. And towards those good friends, you have to treat like this. Then you will have a very good circle of friends around you. So because of those friends, you will be protected, you will get help, and you will have a very good social background. So that will help you to have peace of mind. Then you will be able to convert that peace of mind into your meditation. And then because of your, since that peace of mind affects your meditation, you will grow, you will develop in your meditation practice. And then using the concentration that you develop, so the concentration that you develop, you will be able to convert into, develop wisdom. Developing wisdom, you will be able to come out of all the negativities, develop all the positivities, and attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Right? So please treat your friends like this. Now we are going to start today's silent meditation. Everyone, please keep your back straight, neck straight, head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom, bottom to top. First, I am going to pay our sincere respect and gratitude towards the Buddha. And after that, we are going to start today's silent meditation. Everyone, please calm down and focus. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itimiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. Vijacharana sampanno sungato lokamidu. Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati. Satta deva manusanam buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sangdittiko akaliko Ehi passikoo ඕපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතබ්බෝ විඤ්ඤෝහිති සෝපනිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ උජුපනිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපනිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පනිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට පුරිස පුග්ගලම් ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දකිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති සතු සතු සතු. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a very patient, calm mind. Everyone, please start your meditation. If you are practicing the first step of breathing meditation, please do so. If you are an old student, please start practicing the second step of breathing meditation. Whatever the meditation technique that you are going to practice right now, may your meditation practice become very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation ardently. Please practice diligently. You're bound to be successful. You're bound to be successful. Now, please start your meditation. Please start your meditation. Now, if your legs are paining, the new students, they can relax their legs. But please keep the eyes closed. Now we are going to practice loving kindness meditation in brief. Loving kindness meditation in brief. So please keep your eyes closed. In loving kindness meditation, we are going to share our loving kindness with all the beings in the world. First, let's share our loving kindness with yourself first. Please think, may I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards your dear parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Please think, may my dear mother, may my dear father, may my dear teachers, relatives, and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards your parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards the neutral people, the people who are in the middle, the people who are not your friends, at the same time, who are not your enemies. Please spread your loving kindness towards the neutral people. May all the neutral people be well. May all the neutral people be happy. May all the neutral people be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards the neutral people. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards your enemies. We all have negativities sometimes in our lives. There are moments that we cannot control ourselves. Therefore, sometimes certain people take wrong decisions and do certain actions which are hurtful towards the others. If you keep those grudges inside your mind, then you are the victim of your own grudges. The more you have hatred towards those people, grudges towards those people, you are bound to suffer. Just like a person who suffers because of a burning charcoal on one's hand. Therefore, mentally, please forgive them and spread your sincere loving kindness towards your enemies. May my enemies also be well. May my enemies also be happy. May my enemies also be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards your enemies. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Human beings, animals, birds, fish, visible beings, invisible beings, towards all of them. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. All the beings in the world. Bhavattu sabbe mangalam rakantu sabbe devatam sabbe buddhanubhavi sabbe dhammanubhavi sabbe sanghanubhavi sada sutti bhavang tutti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now everyone, very calmly open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom, bottom to top. Now please join your palms together and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, hope you had a very good meditation session. So concentrate in the mind. It is not easy. So it is just like waging war inside yourself. So I already taught various kinds of ways to practice when various kinds of thoughts come and invade your mind, right? So specifically, so if you cannot concentrate, even so if I remind you, even after so starting to practice the first step of breathing meditation, if you cannot concentrate, please use the counting method that I taught you. Can you remember the counting method? You were not here, right? So can you remember the counting method, Sriyash Bhaiya? Yeah. So Mr. Kevin, can you remember?
Have to do it counting your breaths?
Yes. So up to number 2, you have to count your breath, right? So when the breath is coming in, people, we have to count 1. And when the breath is going out, Ms. Shireen, 2, right? Like that. So you please count your breath. And then I taught you another technique. So if your mind is, if your mind is not calm, to practice at home, right? Cole, can you remember that one? Chingu? Walking meditation, right? So if it is at home, so if you cannot concentrate, what we have to do is, Mr. Tim, we have to practice walking meditation for how many minutes, Mr. Elliot? Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes, right? At least 5 minutes. So by those 2 ways, you can you can regain your calmness, and then you can start your sitting meditation after that, right? So please do like that. And then I taught various other meditation techniques too, but somehow, so these 2 ways will help you, right? So if it is not helping, then please let me know, okay? Right. So every day in the morning, please practice. So practice, new students, please practice 10 minutes. So for 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, please practice breathing meditation. And after that, so at least for 3 minutes, please practice loving kindness meditation, right? So please practice like that every morning for 10 minutes and every evening for 10 minutes, right? So then please work ardently, first for yourself and then for the other people. We were learning about the 5 enemies of meditation, and not only meditation, but also of life. So we learned about the first enemy. Who is the first enemy, Miss Daniel?
Addiction to sensual pleasure.
Yes, addiction to sensual pleasure. We learned how it happens, and then we learned the methods to encounter it and how to overcome that. And then we have a new comment. What's your name? Arushi? Arushri. Yeah. Welcome to the program. Right. Then we learned about the second enemy of meditation, Mr. Rina. Aversion. So that's aversion. Third enemy of meditation is Jin. Laziness. So fourth enemy of meditation, Mr. Kevin. Restlessness or wandering mind. Right. So then after that, today I'm going to teach you about the last enemy of meditation, fifth one. So who is, can you remember the fifth one, people? Doubt. Very nice. So fifth enemy is doubt, right? So doubt is a very strong enemy, right? So just like the others, so doubt is also a very strong enemy that can obstruct our meditation and also the life, right? So in certain teachings, so they say doubting is wrong, but according to Buddha, doubting is not wrong, right? So once, so so the Buddha lived in most of his life. So during most of his life, the Buddha lived inside two kingdoms. So one is the Magadha kingdom, which includes modern Bihar state, and then after that, certain parts of Punjab and Gujarat, and then after that, the other one is the Kosala state, which includes certain parts of West Bengal, and then so that kingdom, um, so so its boundaries are in goes up to Nepal, right? Then right, so between those, so there were people who were so so these two states, these two kingdoms were commercial hubs. So they had commercial hubs, like they had two main cities. One is so one is Sravasti, so in Kosala kingdom, so I think Kasi. So then people were so um, people were so traveling between these two states. So they came from various areas. Those days there were no, I mean, passport agencies. Uh, I mean, so what do we call them? The embassies to provide visas, right? So therefore, uh, both these states so had appointed the people who lived inside the borders, right? Inside the borders of these two kingdoms, um, to to check on the people who were traveling from one kingdom to the other. Can you understand? Right. So those people were called as Kalamas. They belong to one tribe. So they were called as Kalamas. Not only they had to they had to check the people who were traveling between those two kingdoms. They also had the responsibility to facilitate those people to facilitate those people when they pass between these two kingdoms. Uh, so when they were facilitating, uh, they encountered various kinds of religious teachers too. So sometimes, so certain religious teachers came to go to the other kingdom. So they had they built huge halls for them to stay, right, without any pay, right? They provided everything for all those people. Then certain religious teachers came, visited those areas, and at that time in the evening, the Kalamas gathered to listen to them. At the same time, not only to listen to them, but also to facilitate. At that time, they described about their own religion. They said, our God is the greatest God. There is no any other God uh, who is more powerful than our one. So believe in our God, right? And pay respect to our God. So that's what they say. And after that message, uh, so this teacher went, right? And then another teacher came. This teacher said, so Kalamas had to take care of this teacher too. So this religious teacher had belief in another God. So he told about his God. He said, "My God is the greatest God. There is no any other God who is more powerful than my God. So please believe in our God." At that time, the Kalamas asked, they had doubt, so they asked. Earlier too, there was another religious teacher who came here. So he described about his God. So what do you think about that? He also told us that his God is the most powerful. Then at that time, this religious teacher said that the previous religious teacher is false. So he totally denied what the previous religious teacher said, and then he said, so our God is the only one and true God. The previous God is fake and false. And then another religious teacher came. Then this religious teacher believed in another God, you know. So then for sure, Karl Lamas might have developed a lot of doubt, right? So this religious teacher denied both the other two religious teachers and what they said, and then he emphasizes his teaching and his goal. Because of this continuous tantrum, the Kalamas became non-believers. The whole Kalama tribe who lived at the border of Magadha kingdom and Kosala kingdom, they became non-believers. So they didn't believe anything, but still, since it is their duty to treat and take care of all the religious teachers and the other people, they kept on doing. But they were afraid too, because certain teachers said that if you don't believe in our God, you'll go to hell. Then, because of that, they were afraid. Then they heard that there is a wise person who has arisen in India called Buddha. So they wish that may the Buddha also visit their place so they can talk to the Buddha and know whether how to find a good teaching. And at the same time, you see, they wanted to know whether doubting is wrong or right. Then at that time, the Buddha had to go to Buddha also had to go from one kingdom to the other. Once the Buddha visited this area of Kalamas. So the Kalamas were so happy since the Buddha came to visit them. So they treated the Buddha just like they treated the other religious teachers. And then after that, in the evening, they gathered around the Buddha to ask their questions. Then at that time, the Kalamas paid respect to the Buddha and asked, "Oh, the Buddha, we have certain things to get clarified. Can you give us an opportunity?" At that time, the Buddha said, "For sure, I am here to help you. So you can ask anything." At that time, the Kalamas asked, "Oh Buddha, so various kinds of teachers came here and they told us that the first teacher came and he told that his God is the greatest and all the other, his God is the most powerful. Then there was another teacher who came and he taught about his teachings and then denied the previous teacher's teachings. And then there were various kinds of multiple other teachers who came and they denied the others' teachings and they just emphasized so their own teaching. So then Kalamas asked, so whether so doubting all those teachers is a sin. Then at that time the Buddha said, Kalamas, so doubting is not a sin. So you have developed doubt at the right place, right? So in a right way. So doubting is not a sin. Then Kalamas asked, then sir, how to find the right teaching? At that time the Buddha said, Kalamas, what do you think? If there is any, so is greed or addiction to sensual pleasure, is greed, craving, is it harmful for the people, for the beings, or not harmful for the beings? Then Kalamas replied, craving is harmful and not beneficial. So then Buddha asked, if someone comes out of craving, is it beneficial? And so is it a path to happiness? Or so like that he asked. They asked. Then Buddha said, yes, Kalamas. So then Kalamas replied, yes, it is a path to happiness. So coming out of craving is great. Then Buddha asked, how about aversion? How about ignorance? Coming out of them, is it good? Is it beneficial or not beneficial? Then Kalamas replied, yes, that is beneficial. Then Buddha said, if there is any teacher who teaches to come out of craving, to come out of aversion, to come out of ignorance, that's a good teaching. Regardless of the teacher's background, please accept that teaching and practice. Right? So like that, Buddha gave a long teaching to the Kalamas. Kalamas were so happy. Then after that, they also learned meditation from the Buddha and started practicing. Right? So doubting is not wrong. Then we have to understand that there are two kinds of doubtings in the world. There are two kinds of doubt, two types of doubts. One type is the wholesome doubts. The second type is the unwholesome doubts. So there are two types of doubts. One is the wholesome doubts. Then the second one is the unwholesome doubts. First, let's learn what are the unwholesome doubts. So, according to Buddha, so if someone has doubt about the teacher, then it's an unwholesome doubt. So that means if someone, so for an example, for a meditator, if we have doubts about the Buddha, then so it will become an unwholesome doubt, right? So it doesn't mean you should not doubt the Buddha. Whenever you have doubts about the Buddha, you should try your best to get the clarification. You should not stay with the skepticism. So not only about the Buddha, about anything. If you have doubts, you should not stay with the doubt and suffer with the doubt. Instead, you have to get a clarification with a good teacher. Right? That's number one. And about the Dharma, if a practitioner has doubts, then again, it will become an obstacle for that practitioner. Right? Then about the Sangha, the noble teachers who practice this noble path and attain the enlightenment. If we have doubts about those great teachers, that Sangha, then it will become an obstacle to our practice. So whenever such kind of doubts pop up inside our mind, we have to go to a good teacher, a qualified teacher, and then ask. Here, what Buddha teaches is we should not remain with the doubt all the way. Instead, we have to go to a good teacher, and then we have to talk. Right? Then that's number one. Number two is doubt about oneself. Doubt about oneself. So, uh, so then questioning about one's ability to follow the path. So when for an example, meditation. When it comes to meditation, so these meditation techniques were practiced by various people in the past. Understanding the technique properly, so since they practice, they could achieve greater peace and greater happiness with it, eradicating all the negativities, developing all the positivities. They could achieve the enlightenment, right? So not only for us, so millions of people in the world, they got benefited since they practice well, understanding the technique properly. So there is no problem with the technique. But uh, so um, so you are not different from the other people, right? If you also practice ardently, understanding the technique properly, you are also bound to get good results. There is no doubt about it. So, but if you keep on doubting yourself, what will happen is it will lead to hesitation. It will lead to laziness, right? It will lead to confusion. So instead, what we need to do is, so we have to believe in ourselves and we have to practice ardently, right? Number three is endless intellectual questioning, right? Endless intellectual question. So, uh, so intellectual questioning is important, but you cannot know about everything in the world. So, so up to the last point. So therefore, over doubting without practicing, which leads to confusion rather than wisdom. Right. So there are certain people who think about certain things. So exceeding the limit. So when you think about those things exceeding the limit, so about useless things, then that for those things you have to dedicate your precious human time. Right? Then you will lose enough time to practice. Right? So um, so therefore the Buddha instructed us um, not to think not to think exceeding the limit about certain things, right? Certain people during those days, certain people were debating with each other, saying, so the soul is endless. One person said the soul is endless. The other person said the soul has an end. And then said other people, uh, said the universe has an end. Certain people said the universal is endless. So like that, certain people kept on arguing. Right? But so for the knowledge, so for the knowledge, so um, learning about those things to a certain extent, that's fine. But if you keep on thinking about those things exceeding the limit, then that will destroy your precious human time, and then you will die without finding good answers, right? So for an example, let me teach you a small Zen story. So one day in Japan, one person went to a Japanese bante, and so this happened many centuries ago. One person went to a Japanese bante and asked the question, how to overcome doubt? Then at that time, that bante told this person, instructed this person, okay, then please go to the barber in our village and ask whether you need a haircut. Then he went to the barber of the village and asked whether he needs a haircut. Then the barber said, yes, you need a haircut. So, but he took a haircut, so he cut his hair very recently. So he doubted. So he went to the barber in the neighboring village and asked whether he needs a haircut. Then that barber said, oh, no, 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 you don't need any haircut. So he was so doubtful. Then he went to that very bante and said, oh, one barber says that I need a haircut. Then I need a haircut. Then the other barber says that I don't need a haircut. What should I do? Then that bante said, okay, leave that aside, leave that question aside. And then that bante gave him a chicken. And then that bante told this person to go and ask both those barbers whether this is a duck. Then at that time, this person said, oh, Bante, so what are you talking? So this is a chicken. So how can a chicken become a duck? So no use to go and ask those two people. I know this is a chicken. Then at that time, that Bante said, there are certain things that you already know. No use of thinking about them all the way. Right? You know that they are for sure. Right? If you overthink, then it also will become a doubt, which will bother your mind. And there are certain things that you have, just like uh, your haircut, there are certain things that you have to analyze and decide. So you get the other people's opinion, but finally it is up to you to get a haircut or not to get a haircut, right? So that's the third. So this is the third unwholesome doubt, endless intellectual thinking. Then there are certain ways that you can overcome so your doubt. Number one is direct experience. So when it comes to meditation, certain people might say, "Oh, we always have the breath. How can we gain so calmness by focusing on this breath? We had this breath all the way since our birth. It is not something so that you can so decide by seeing. So you have to understand the effectiveness of your meditation by practice, right? So by certain things, not only meditation, so in general things too, there are certain things that you have to come out of the doubt by experiencing, by practicing, right? So by direct experience, you can come out of the doubts. And then number two, seeking guidance. By seeking guidance too, you can overcome your doubts by thinking well, and at the same time by associating noble friends, qualified teachers. You can overcome by discussing with them. You can overcome doubts. That's number two. Number 3 is faith and confidence. So developing confidence in the teachings through personal experience, right? So when you practice breathing meditation, you understand, yes, by practicing this, I I um, I can see a change in me. My concentration, it is developed. Seeing this, you develop confidence in the technique, right? In the practice. And then, in during the vipassana meditation, whenever you see the truth within yourself, right? So when you see the truth within yourself, so for an example, impermanence, so you realize, yes, there is something called impermanence inside me, right? Through your own experience. Then by that way, so you develop confidence in the meditation technique. Not only that, even in life, it is the same, right? So by developing faith and confidence in the things that you do, right? So uh, by uh, by comparing the experience, so by analyzing the experience, so you can come out of the doubt. Then, what are the wholesome doubts? So right, about the nature, about the truths in the world. So we have doubts. So it's a wholesome doubt, right? So there, mhm, right, all right. So there are about the realities, we have doubts, right? So that is a wholesome doubt. For an example, about things, so about the reality of things, if you have doubts, then that's a wholesome doubt. Then at the same time, uh, so um, then right, then investigating the Four Noble Truths. So about the Four Noble Truths too, if we have doubts, so then uh, so at the beginning, if we have doubts, that's a wholesome doubt. For an example, so if we don't know actually what is the suffering is, right? So until we gain the understanding, if we don't think properly, then um, then uh, we have to understand that. Uh, so it's a wholesome doubt, right? Whenever um, whenever you have doubts about the uh, path to come out of all the suffering, right? Until you achieve that. So if you have doubts, those are wholesome doubts too. But you have to associate a very good teacher, and then you have to rely on your own practice. And by those ways, you have to come out of those doubts too, right? So by those ways, you have to come out of your wholesome doubts, right? Then right. So these are the ways how to come out of doubt, right? So if we let the doubt to overcome us, then as I mentioned earlier, so it will be a big obstacle for your own meditation and also for your life. So try to come out of the doubts about this technique, meditation technique, and at the same time about yourself. And then please work ardently and try to practice this noble non-sectarian pure meditation technique, and try to get rid of all the negativities, and try to develop all the positivities within, and finally try to attain real peace, real happiness, nibbana. With those thoughts, we are going to conclude. Now, everyone, please think together, all of us. Right, that's fine. Together, all of us gathered here and practice this noble non-sectarian pure meditation technique. And by that way, we accumulated a lot of positive energy. By the power of all this positive energy, please think. May all our troubles be away. May all the good things happen in our lives. Practicing this noble Dhamma path, may all of us attain real peace, real happiness, purification of mind, Nibbana. With those thoughts, everyone, please concentrate. Please concentrate. Abhivadana silisse nichang vada pachaino Chattaro dhamma vadante ayubang no sukhang balang Ayurarogya sampatti Sagga sampatti me vache Ato nibbana sampatti Iminate samijjato. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May you all be very, very peaceful and blessed. Sukhi hotu, sukhi hotu, sukhi hotu. Good night to everyone and see you again in the next week. Sukhi hotu. Right. Pragati and Rahul, good night.
Hi, good night, Bante.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Rita and Mr. Juan, good night.
Good night to you, Bante. Thank you so
Good
much.
night. May